I'm gonna start recording just so everyone knows. No surprises.
Who's that? Almost like you. Yes.
Yes.
From Posey? Yes. Oh, okay.
Hey, Bob.
Hi.
Hi, Mr. Mayor.
How you doing tonight?
It's wonderful. What is a milk flag?
No, we go from. Too
From
fast.
no block to
too
fast
fast,
block
too
to,
slow, to
no
no
block.
block.
She's using the laptop.
Okay.
instead of making all kinds
Ooh, that'd be fun.
of hands.
No, I pulled it out because it keeps going backwards. Insanity.
Good thing that it's on.
No, it is 6:57.
No place is falling apart.
We're good.
They're down.
And the people in it.
Hey, now. Better. Slowly but surely.
Up here to the gavel.
It doesn't fall off anymore.
Screws on.
Okay, good.
It is
See.
best for short people. Bring in some more glue to the floor. Oh, I want to hire, I'm sure. Fill it with rocks, put some weight through it. Something that economic teacher. We got a countdown at all. Nice. Let's go.
All right. We call the Mayville Common Council to order at 7 PM. Please take the roll.
Alderperson Baker.
Here.
Alderperson Smith.
Here.
Alderperson Henkel. Here. Alderperson Lignell.
Present.
Alderperson Newman.
Here.
Alderperson Olson.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
All right, is there any citizen comments tonight for the common council? All right, seeing none.
That wouldn't be me, right? Sorry, okay, all right, thanks.
Your item is agendized.
Okay, thank you.
All right, agenda changes. Anybody have any agenda changes? Consent agenda, promotion to approve the consent agenda.
I move to accept the agenda.
Motion by Olson, second by Levino. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carries. All right, report of officers. Mayor's report for the month. Go ahead, discuss with possible action, resolution 5993, 2025. Please read.
A resolution expressing appreciation for the dedicated service of Fire Chief Brad Marks upon his retirement. Whereas Fire Chief Brad Marks has faithfully served the city of Mayville and its residents with distinction and dedication. And whereas during his tenure, Chief Marks demonstrated outstanding leadership, unwavering commitment to public safety, and exceptional professionalism in carrying out the responsibilities of the Mayville Fire Department. And whereas Chief Marks has been instrumental in advancing the department's capabilities through training, modernization of equipment, and fostering strong relationships with regional emergency services. And whereas Chief Marks has served as a mentor, role model, and respected colleague to firefighters and staff, leaving a legacy of integrity, courage, and service above self. And whereas the city of Mayville recognizes and celebrates the many contributions of Chief Marks, whose efforts have significantly enhanced the safety and well-being of our community. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the mayor and the common council of the city of Mayville that with sincere appreciation and heartfelt thanks are extended to Fire Chief Brad Marks for his dedicated service to the city and its citizens. Be it further resolved that the city of Mayville hereby extends best wishes to Chief Marks for a long, healthy, and fulfilling retirement.
All right, here's the resolution. Is there a motion?
I make a motion.
Motion by Newman,
I'll second it.
second by Hinkle. Any discussion? Just like. I'd just like to say thanks to Chief Marks for all he did for the city over the last decade. You know, he did a lot for the city and it's much appreciative and hoping he enjoys his retirement going forward. So thank you. I'll sign it. Hold on, let me sign it.
Better.
All right, Alden, yeah, take the roll, I guess.
Alderperson Newman,
Aye.
Alderperson Henkel. Aye. Alderperson Smith,
Aye.
Alderperson Baker.
Aye.
Alderperson Leidnow,
Aye.
Alderperson Olson.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Report of officers, mayor's report, everyone. All right, good evening. The city was hit by a F2 tornado this month that caused devastation to many residents within our city. We estimated around 25% of the city was hit with some kind of damage. I have been in contact with many businesses and residents on the impact the tornado has caused. The city is roughly 95% cleaned up as we move forward. So how do we pick up the pieces and what can we expect going forward? The city administrator has done an assessment of the city-owned facilities and has contacted the city insurance company for insurance claims and what is and is not covered. Unfortunately, a lot of outdoor property damage, like uprooted trees, cemetery headstones, trees in the river, and cleanup hours is not covered. After speaking with residents, it seems this also holds true for residents' property. I had 3 elected officials reach out to me for assistance. Not elected officials, I should say residents for assistance. This includes, correction, 3 elected officials reached out to me for assistance. This included Governor Evers, who toured the affected area, Tammy Baldwin's office, and Representative Bourne's phone conversation. Residents are wondering about federal FEMA assistance. However, after speaking with the Dodge County Emergency Service Director, we would not qualify under the criteria. Wisconsin has a state emergency management assistance program. The city applied for in the amount of $380,000. Now we need to shore up that number, and we are asking all residents that cleaned up their own property or assist helping in cleanup efforts to contact City Hall to register their hours. Please call 920-387-7900. During my talks with businesses and residents, it was brought up about starting a fund to help residents in need. After speaking with the city finance director, we have set up the Mayville Disaster Relief Fund. As of today, we roughly obtained $16,000 and we are seeking donations. The city council will be establishing a criteria over the next month with an application process for residents to apply for some kind of assistance. More information to come. I personally need to thank a bunch of residents and businesses in our time of need. First, I want to thank all the residents and volunteers who took the time to come together and help each other clean up the mess the tornado left behind. I want to thank all the city employees from emergency services, DPW, parks, cities, staff, city administrator, utility workers, tag workers, down to the janitors. All these departments and workers gave 100% to help our residents during this difficult time. I want to say thank you, job well done. I want to thank the tremendous generous support from our local businesses and surrounding businesses for donating equipment, labor, fuel, time, food, water, emergency shelter, clothing, and so many other items to our residents. I want to thank Mayville School District and the American Red Cross for opening their doors and responding in a timely fashion to help residents in need. I feel blessed that no one was seriously injured by the tornado, and I feel blessed that I represent a community that pulls together when we all need each other. So thank you, and see you around town. That's my marriage report for the month. All right, city administrators report.
Okay, my administrator report for the month is, I'm providing the preliminary cost for the tornado. So I had to estimate the cost and submit that to Dodge County. Dodge County has this Sunday or June 15th to submit these preliminary costs through the Uniform Disaster Situation Report. And then once they have that submitted, then it'll go through approval process at the state. And then I can be able to log into the portal, which will be able to upload the actual cost for the tornado into the state grant program for reimbursement. I'm also working with the labor attorney Carol on drafting a complaint policy. We're revising section 5.4 of the employee handbook, and also attorney Carol or his assistant will be taking over the rest of the updates for the employee handbook with the personnel committee. Meetings I attended, Police and Fire Commission on May 13th, Standing Committee meetings on May 27th, along with a special common council meeting on the 27th. Plan Commission meeting was on May 28th. We're continuing to update the zoning ordinance and having discussions on that. CDA meeting was after the Plan Commission, and we issued an RFP for website design. Wastewater treatment monthly construction progress meeting was on June 3rd. And then also we have weekly progress meetings for the Highway 28 project here at City Hall every Thursday at 11:30. Well House number 4 open house was on June 3rd from 5 to 7, and at 7 p.m. was a utility commission meeting. Board of Review also met from 4 to 6 on June 5th. Webinars I attended was Shielding Your Leadership through R&R Insurance, and also I attended the Rock and Boom Steering Committee. Projects in the progress, continue to talk about the ordinance for the special assessments for sidewalks and alleys, and then options for collecting the revolving loan fund. We're also discussing and updating the insurance schedules for 2026 renewals. So next week, Monday, they'll start. They'll be here for 2 days and have an appraisal on all the city property so that we have accurate costs or values for your statement of values for your property and your property in the open, and also your contractor's equipment. We terminated the iron filter and well maintenance contracts for the utility commission. Staffing updates, Fire Chief Jeff Engel started on June 1st. Welcome, Jeff. And William Yankus for the fire department started today on June 9th. Upcoming tasks, we're working on drafting the ordinances for attaching the strip of land in industrial park to the city from the village of Kikasi. And then, as I said, MPEC will be on site next week, Monday and Tuesday, for doing their insurance of appraisals. And that's all I have for this month. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Clerks report.
Right, well, this should be the last meeting. You have to listen to me talk about liquor licensing for about a year. So tonight will be the approval for liquor license renewals and operator licenses. My office has been working on getting the licenses, the physical licenses prepared so we can provide them to the applicants in a quick fashion. We've also been working closely with the police department regarding background checks and the establishment checks. I'd like to thank the police department for their attention to this, and in particular, thank Judy Bauer, as she had time off during this licensing season and still made sure we got what we needed in a timely manner. It was very much appreciated. 30-year comprehensive plan. The community input survey for the 30-year comprehensive plan has gone live and will remain open through June 27th. We urge citizens to please take that. Redevelopment Resources reports that they're getting good participation, and we hope that that will continue. Payroll training. This week I started working with Comptroller Treasurer DeBaker on learning payroll. This is an example of continued cross-training efforts to ensure we have appropriate coverage during staff vacation and absences. Board review was held on June 5th, and this year the city did not have any objections. So that made filing the statement of assessment very easy, and we met the timeline to get that in. Permit updates. I continue to work on updating the city permits for continuity and accuracy. Most recently, the right-of-way and excavation permit has been updated and is live on our website. Picnic licenses. We have had some submitted and approved for Rock and Boom Summer Concert Series in Foster Park, which will be held each Thursday in June. Rock and Boom itself, which is held on July 3rd, and Audubon Days from September 19th through the 21st. Some upcoming items I have is WMCA conference committee meetings. Conference is happening in August, so those are getting more frequent. My third year of the UW Green Bay's Clerks and Treasurer Institute is coming up in mid-July. And then I would also like to just say happy anniversary to my deputy clerk. As of tomorrow, Dawn will have been with us 1 year. She's been a huge asset. We're so happy she's here, and she's a great piece in City Hall. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you. All right. Treasurer, April 2024 monthly checks, register, and approval of the bills. Is there a motion to approve the bills?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Smith,
Second.
second by Newman. Any discussion? Questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
The police department garage door, what happened to that?
There are some springs that help the garage door open up. They're only good for someone's cycles, so we just did something else to replace it.
Usually, I don't know about that one, but I know with mine, you're supposed to every once in a while grease the tracks and the springs, which I found that out the hard way. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Nobody hit it or anything.
No.
All right, anybody,
Okay.
anybody else? Anybody else? All right. Take the roll.
Alderperson Smith.
Aye.
Alderperson Newman.
Aye.
Alderperson Olson. Alderperson Leeknow.
Aye.
Alderperson Henkel. Alderperson DeBaker.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, Comptroller Treasurer's monthly report.
All right, well, we are in the final stages of completing the annual TID report. Once that's filed, I'm gonna send it over to Ellers, and then we can coordinate a meeting for the joint review board meeting. My pay online, the progress was paused this month due to the tornado, and we plan to resume that information shortly. The capital improvement plan materials and the budget timeline will be distributed to the department heads tomorrow at our monthly meeting. As Annie had said, payroll cross training, she's currently cross training payroll to help strengthen our internal support coverage. So like, I was unable to present my full treasury report last month, due to I had to go to an event. But I wanted to take a minute to highlight some important areas of the progress of our internal controls. Over the past year, we've made some significant strides in improving in internal processes, and many of the audit marks and concerns related to that have been addressed, and in many cases, it's been eliminated entirely. This success is a direct result of the hard work and dedication to our office staff. I especially want to recognize Dawn, our deputy clerk, and Gwen, our utility accountant, for going above and beyond and cleaning up and correcting longstanding issues. Their efforts have been very instrumental to the city's progress and financial stability. That said, each and every team member, all of us together, played a great role in strengthening our internal controls, improving our front office efficiently. Through cross-training and the implementation of clearer procedures, improved pre-tracking, and more consistent daily practices, we are now operating at a greater
accuracy, accountability, and transparency than ever before. I just wanted to let that be known. I'm very proud of all the work that everyone has put in. So we also received our personal property aid this last month. And our general obligation closing, the city had our closing on June 3rd. And I think that's all I got. Put
Right,
it all in one order.
thank you. All right, utility commission. Next date and time is July 28th at 5:30 P.M.
There's a
Right.
change on that too, just so a note that it did change from the first Monday of the first Tuesday of the week. First Tuesday of the month, now we do that before committee. Just want to make a note. Thank you. What time would that be? It's at
All right.
5:30.
Thanks for that. Library board, next meeting date is June 12th at 6 P.M. Public Works Committee, next date is June 23rd at 6 P.M. Personnel Committee, next meeting date is June 23rd at 6 P.M. Public Safety, next meeting date is June 23rd at 6 P.M. Finance Committee meetings, next meeting date is June 23rd at 6 P.M. Park and Recreation Commission, next meeting date is July 9th at 3:30 P.M. Planning Commission, next meeting date is June 25th at 4 P.M. Community Development Authority Enhancement Committee, next meeting date is June 25th at 5 P.M. All right, old business, discuss with possible action, ordinance 1148-2025, an ordinance to create chapter 194, weight and measures of municipal code, the city of Mayville. Can you please read, or is it too much?
It's 2 pages. I'm happy to do it. The Common Council of the City of Mayville, Dodge County, Wisconsin, does ordain as follows. Section 1, Chapter 194, weights and measures and licenses. Definitions: commercial weighing or measuring devices are those used or employed in establishing the size, quantity, extent, area, or measurement of quantities, things, produce, or articles for sale, hire, or award, or in computing any basic charge for payment for services rendered on the basis of weight or measure. B, weight and measure program includes administration and enforcement of this section and chapter 98 of state statutes and any related actions. License required, part A, except as provided in paragraph B, no person shall operate or maintain weights and measures, weighing or measuring devices, and systems and accessories relating thereto, which are used commercially within the city of Mayville in determining the weight, measure, or count of commodities or things sold or offered or exposed for sale on the basis of weight, measure, or count, unless each device is licensed by an annual weights and measures license issued pursuant to the provisions of this section. B, occasional sales temporarily permitted by special event permit are exempt from licensing under the section. Application. The application for a weighing or measuring device license shall be made in writing on a form provided for such purpose by the city clerk and signed by an individual authorized to sign for the applicant. Such application shall state the type and number of weighing and measuring devices to be licensed, the address at which the device is located, the applicant's full name and post office address, and whether such person is an individual, partnership, limited liability company, or corporation. If a partnership, the application shall state the name of partners together with their address. If a corporation or limited liability company, the application shall state the names and addresses of all officers and agents of the application. Issuance fees. The city clerk shall issue a license to the applicant if the requirement of this code has been met. Each store or other business location shall require a separate license. Term: licenses issued under this section shall expire on December 31st of each year. Enforcement for non-renewal. It shall be the duty of the city clerk to notify the appropriate city officials and to order the immediate enforcement of the provisions of this section in cases involving failure to renew a weighing or measuring device license. Said licensee shall be prohibited from operating or maintaining a weighing or measuring device until such a time as valid license has been obtained under the provision of this section. Assessment Part A, the council shall annually assess fees to each licensee based on the numbers and types of weighing and measuring devices licensed as of January 1st of that year. The total of the fees assessed and the fees collected under sub 4 shall not exceed the actual cost of the Weights and Measures program. Part B, the clerk shall prepare a proposed schedule of assessments prior to the assessment and mail each licensee a copy of the proposed schedule together with a notice of the date and time at which the council will consider the assessments. Part C, at least 10 days after such mailing, the council shall consider the clerk's proposed schedule of assessments and approve it or adopt such other schedule of assessments as it deems reasonable. The clerk shall mail each licensee an invoice for the amount of the fee assessed to the licensee by the council. Part D, each licensee shall pay the fee assessed to it within 30 days after the invoice is mailed. Part E, schedules, notices, and invoices shall be considered mailed to a licensee when mailed by first class mail to the licensee at the licensee's address as shown on the application form. Section 2, severability. If any provision of this ordinance is invalid or unconstitutional, or if the application of this ordinance to any person or circumstance is invalid or unconstitutional, such invalidity or unconstitutionality shall not affect the other provisions or applications of this ordinance, which can be given effect without the individual or unconstitutional provisions or applications. Section 3, effective date. This ordinance shall take effect from and after its passage and publication.
All right, to put it in layman's terms, and that's quite a bit,
You can drink a water.
so
Thank you.
the state comes in yearly, evaluates our, businesses, their scales. And so typically the city was paying them fees. So this ordinance that we're creating is new. That way whatever fees are, the state's gonna charge us, we, build the business for that time, whatever it is. I think we didn't think it was a lot, but there's something there, so. So that's basically what we're doing. All right, is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Newman, there's a second. Second by Smith. All right, any more discussion? You know, sum it up.
Yes.
Okay. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Discuss the possible action on uploading meeting videos to YouTube in lieu of live streaming in regards to video recording city meetings, including common council, personnel committee, finance committee, public safety, and public works. All right, we tabled this from last meeting. Their motion? Anybody gonna make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Newman, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Hinkle. All right, discussion. This was in regards to that we're not gonna be streaming these. We're gonna just put it on the day after, or? Right? So if you don't wanna live stream the meetings anymore, that's what we're doing here. We're overchanging the process, so. We'll record them and put them on the web the next day or shortly after.
All right, and just so we clarify the reason that there's quite a cost involved, correct?
No, the reason this came forward was other municipalities had instances of people being able to break into the live stream and
Really?
doing things on video live.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so some have gone to this so that they could catch that from happening.
Okay.
You know, as I've said before, the likelihood of it happening here is not high, but it was brought to your attention in case it's something you wanted to consider. So I really have no preference one way or the other.
Okay. That makes sense.
All right, anybody else? All right, so if you don't want to live stream, vote yes. If you do, vote no. Take the roll.
Alderperson Newman,
Yes.
Alderperson Henkel,
No.
Alderperson Smith,
No.
Alderperson Baker,
Yes.
Alderperson Liebnow,
Yes.
Alderperson Olson.
No.
Oh, we have a tie, so. Motion, I vote no, so motion failed. Thank you. Discuss the possible action extending 24/7 access to the tag center to 15 to 18-year-olds with a legal guardian. John, did we talk about this last month?
Yeah, it was tabled last month. So, first of all, anybody have any questions? Questions, concerns?
The concern I have, attorney had a lot of concerns, right?
Yeah, yep. Had some concerns, definitely had some concerns. I just want to quick go through this, so, as far as the ages, what they can do at the Take Center right now. I don't know if everybody even really realizes what the age groups are, what they can do, what they can participate in. So at under 12 years old, they can use the gym areas, any areas that have no equipment, so that would be like your blue room, that would be the gym, that would be, I think gym, blue room, that'd be pretty much it, and the walking track, sorry. 12 to 14 years old, and if they're members, they do an orientation out there, which they have to go through all the machines, go through everything. Then they can go use that, any of the machines at that point, from 12 to 14 years old, as long, and they're encouraged to have an adult with them or a parent with them, but they are not obligated to have a parent with them, as long as they have that orientation done. And that's for members. Anybody that is not a member or does not have the orientation, 15 to 18-year-old, they can use the facility during open hours, anything in the facility, they're good to go using that. When the facility closes, then 18-year-olds and older with the key fob can access the building with nobody around, no other people with them or anything like that. So there's no staff there, there's nobody to watch over or anything like that. And that's kind of what the setup is right now at the Take Center. So. So the actual, what we're talking about now is the 15 to 18-year-olds and the amount of time that they can use. Did everybody get the?
Yeah, we handed it out for everybody.
Okay, so if you look at that, Stephanie did that today and put it together, the amount of extra hours that that would open up for the 15 to 18-year-olds. So if you look at it during the week, all it's gonna be is after 8 o'clock at night till 4:30 in the morning. Weekends would be, like during summer hours are a little bit less. So Sundays, we're not open, and Saturdays we're open till noon, just because the foot traffic in summer is just so much less. Winter's different, still during the week is where we have most of our foot traffic and where people use it, and it's still open every night from 4:30 AM till 8 PM. So the use would be after 8 PM, then on weekends, we're open both Saturday and Sunday. During the winter hours, start Labor Day and go to Memorial Day. Summer hours, just start Memorial Day and go to Labor Day weekend, so it's just a 3-month span here in summer.
All right, well, let's get a motion on the floor. Is there a motion? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, but I'm confused.
All right, motion by Smith. Is there a second?
We're motioning this allow.
We're just getting a motion to get it on the floor for
So did
discussion.
a
I'll second
motion
the
to
motion.
allow or
Motion
to,
to allow or
or to not allow
Bobby made the motion. Allow or not allow?
after hours, 15 to 18-year-olds. At 24/7 access.
With an adult or guardian.
I made a motion for the purpose of discussion. I think that's legal.
Extending it. So I would say you made the motion to extend 24/7 access to the Take Center.
I'll second that motion.
All right. All right, discussion. Bob, you have a question?
Yeah. So how does this change what we're doing now?
Well, the biggest change that we're gonna have is just having so let me go this way. So after hours, there's not a lot of people that do use the after hours. It's the same group that do use it, whether they don't like working out with other people, like the quietness down there, work schedule doesn't want to do it, anything like that. They do come in after hours. Biggest problem that we have right now, and we had a couple of instances this week, is the 18-year-olds, cause that's who we look back on the cameras, leaving equipment out, leaving their mess down there, leaving it. We had somebody that left some weights on the floor, and we have a gentleman that comes out there that is partially disabled. He works out at 3 o'clock in the morning because he just don't want to be around anybody else. And he came in there and he tripped over one of the weights that were left on the floor. And that happens all the time.
But that was done by an 18-year-old who is considered an adult.
Yeah, 18-year-old, yep, absolutely, yep, 100%. Everybody I'm talking about here has to be 18 or above. We did have one 18 or 19-year-old brother, I'm not sure how it is, that snuck the car to his 17-year-old and came in there, and we got pictures of them. They went and bought a Quick Trip pizza, and they're sitting on the machines eating a full pizza. So. And we don't get to clean this stuff up or see it or take care of it until, at, 4:30 or, well, when our first help comes in at 4:30 in the morning, that's when we find out about it, so.
I was under the impression this came about because, somebody wanted to be able to take their 14, 15-year-old kids in there with them until like 10 o'clock in the evening on his key fob. Isn't that what this is about, or is it?
Well, the way this would have to be is that the child or the 15, 18-year, which we can consider a child. Would have to have their own key fob, because everybody goes in there, the system that works right now, you swipe your key fob. You go in there and it shows that you have one person in there, so you can't seek anybody else in there. If you have a big backpack, I've said this in the past, you have a big backpack on, it zaps you as two people. Next day you come in and there's a thing on the email that shows, hey, so we're not sneaking everybody and their brother in there messing around. So everybody's gonna have to have their own key fob to access the building. So you know who's in there all the time, who's there, if there's trouble, anything like that. Yeah, so it would be that way, and then they would have to be with an adult. And I'm not saying that there is not good parents and parents that would watch over their kids and take care of it and make sure that they don't cause any issues. But I know this is not the case all the time. So, and I guess at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is we're trying to protect, first of all, people that are going in there after hours with no supervisors, no nothing, nobody watch over it. And second of all, we're trying to protect Mayville's $12 million investment they got out there in the fitness center. And either way, I mean, but.
The reason why it was brought to my attention is that there are families that have children in sports.
Yeah.
And they would like to work out there with them, vice versa. I'm thinking that was one way we could up our family memberships, which we could use a little help on.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing too is, if this should ever pass, all it takes is one person to screw it up and shut it down. Even if you did go with this.
Yeah, the hard part is for something like this, if you do end up doing it, you always are gonna have the people that really are abiding by the rules. Use it now, if you get a couple people that wreck it for them, and you shut it down, or say you don't do a 6-month trial of it. It's hard to shut something down then when you have people, then you're gonna have people at your front door. So it's either gotta be all in or all out. 100%, but I guess my opinion would be, it seems like this topic gets brought up all the time. And this has been discussed a lot this time, and a lot of different, looking really deeply into it. And, this is a chance right now to keep, go with it. This is what we need to go with and not bring it back up in 6 months from now. Nothing is really gonna change.
I was just told that if it's not allowed, if we don't allow this to happen, that they won't get a family membership until their kids are grown up and out of the house.
Didn't the city attorney weigh in on this? Didn't he have some serious concerns with it?
Well, he said anytime you leave, so first of all, he said is that the, any of these, even the ones that we have written up, the iron, there no, I guess, what do you wanna say? No, the waiver, thank you, I'm thinking the word, thank you very much, yeah, the no waivers that we have are ironclad waivers, they're just not anymore. But now when you start adding minors into it, even though they're signing, even though you have your adults and all that, that's just where it becomes an issue. Now, one thing you have to look at too, though, is that, so you're saying like these kids are 15, 18 years old and in sports. Not that I wanna push anyone away, I love seeing kids down there during the day, you can watch over them, monitor them, and, and take like care of them and all that, but, if they're in sports, a high school has got a state-of-the-art fitness center. I mean, honestly, their fitness center, their actual true workout area is better than the pay centers. They really do. I mean, they just built it out, their new addition that they have there. Not saying that I want any, anybody not to come out to the PAG Center. We don't want to push anybody away from the PAG Center. And we do have a lot of high school kids that come out. There's high school kids that come out. There's a big group that come out before school every day. There's a big group that come out right after school in between sports, come out right after school and they're doing, every night they're doing their basketball. They're doing their workouts, they're doing all stuff like that.
What else did the attorney say?
Well, he went through just a couple other, he brought up I don't have it in front of me here, I'm trying to think which one was it Anytime Fitness, was it any, and the way that they had it written out, it was ridiculous. I mean, it was pages and pages and pages of, for this waiver, I mean, it was. So.
My concern would be,
It comes down to that, it just comes down to liability, and then when
That's all it
you're,
is.
yeah.
And they said it was bad.
Well, and they did, they said that when you start getting
Thumb down.
when you start getting minors involved with it, you know, the way we have it written up here would have to be, it could be with just a guardian, I mean, cause that proved it this last week when an older brother let a younger one in there, and they just went in there and.
So right now, if 15 to 17-year-old went in there at their parent, had 24/7 access, and it happened on a Sunday, when would you notice actually that there was damage or vandalism done to the building?
That would not be done until we have, well, somebody goes in there each day and does a walkthrough. Has to put the pool chemicals, but they would not notice it, the actual, camera or anything. If they did Sunday morning, this time now until Monday morning at 4:30 AM. Other than getting calls and have to go in there, there's stuff laying around, something happened.
Unless someone called.
That's what I mean, obviously you get a call and saying, yeah, something happened, something broken, something is,
But do we have emergency contact numbers around posted somewhere?
yeah.
They're by the phone.
Yeah, we have an emergency, just an emergency phone, in the 24/7 part.
All right, anybody else?
Seems to me like there's issues with the program for adults as well. I mean, you add minors to the mix, you're gonna have more problems.
You know, it's, yeah, you're 100% right, there's always, you know, there's always good and bad people, anything you do, I mean, but now Stephanie, I know she became a member out there, and she's been using it out there, and she's noticing some stuff, she said even that, it's like, holy cow, and these are adults that she's seen stuff happen to, you know.
All right, anybody else?
Yes. I wasn't until last year, I was a member for, I don't know, 12, 15 years.
Not too late yet.
What's that?
Not too late
You
yet.
keep it going.
Yeah, forget about it. I see a couple of problems with this. First of all, you're expanding the fobs, and that's expensive to virtually every member, whether and their kids. That's number one. And number two, the idea is to get, let's say, a father and his two teenagers in there at, whatever, 8 o'clock. And then inadvertent, or for some reason, he could be called away, or he could have a phone call that he has to leave. He could end up leaving the building and leaving the two teenagers there while he's gone, either by design or by happenstance. So then you're stuck with no guidance, no supervision. I think this thing, if you want to try and do this and avoid any legal liability, I think it needs a lot more work. I don't think it's worth it myself to do this. That's just my opinion.
And then one other thing too, you gotta look at is now, when you say like you're gonna have a parent or a guardian with the child. You gotta realize what's open with the 24/7, so the workout area is open, the basketball area is open, the pickleball area is open. The biking room area is open, nothing on the top, the mezzanine, the walking track, the free weights, anything like that. So, you know, you're not gonna have them be actually watching each other, you know, if you have one in the gym, one in the other part there, you know, so there's just a lot to it, you know, that's the whole thing. Like I say, I wanna see people, I wanna see feet through that door, I wanna see that place just booming. And then it's great to see it this last winter, and I'm not trying to, you know, deter anybody from coming through the door and all that, but at the end of the day, we're also trying to protect our, you know, protect the people in there, protect the huge investment the city has.
Let me ask you something. I mean, I've seen the work you put in out there. You've done a phenomenal job up to this point. Are you in favor of this?
I'm not,
There you
but
go.
there's also stuff that's happening out there that I'm not in favor of otherwise, but it, you know, so I'm not trying to talk away from this, but.
Well, you just did.
I did, yeah, no, I did, I know, but I'm just saying is that it's, you know, I just see it, and especially being in the parks, that age group, and let me tell you, probably 90% of them are really, really good kids, really good, they really wanna come work out, they wanna do it, but it's just those couple percent that just wreck it for everybody, and the stuff I've seen over the years, and I'm just afraid of coming in there and having, you know, and losing the people that are using the 24/7 right now, they're using it and starting to complain about that, then, you know, so.
All right, anybody else got any more questions?
We're not gonna get 25, 30 families signing up because we're gonna open this up to access.
Now, up until this point now, Kim said, you know, obviously you've actually had contact with a family or families that haven't. Up to this point, I think probably in all my years, even just being out there, not just this one year that I've been out there, you know, I think I've had one other family, I would have loved to, when my son was working out in high school, he went to a high school that was out of town, so it wasn't easy for him. When he was 17 and it was burning him up to get in there and work out when he turned 18. That was the first thing he did, is went out there and worked out on his own after hours. So he loved it all the way, you know, loved it, that part of it, so.
So 1, 2, I talked to literally one family. And my kid goes at 3 o'clock after school.
Yeah, he's one of them that's down there.
He's
the
down
basketball
there all
every
the
day.
time.
Every day they're down there, yep.
And they don't, he never asked me, hey, can I go in after 8 or never. So.
Yeah, he's one of the big,
That is-
checking out after school, so.
All right,
You know, I checked around a lot of different facilities around that have 24/7 access, and I found one in Milwaukee that let 16 to 18-year-olds in. It was privately owned. Otherwise, every other one that you go into is 18 or above.
anybody else? All right, take the roll.
So what are they voting on?
Well,
Motion to allow
Okay.
24/7 access to the TAG. Alderperson Smith,
No,
Alderperson Henkel,
No.
Alderperson DeBaker,
No.
Alderperson Lebno,
No.
Alderperson Newman,
No,
Alderperson Olson.
Yes.
Motion fails.
all right, thanks, John. Item
hey,
eight.
thank you for all your work on there.
8D, discuss, connection to the city of Mayville City sewer services for property located at N 8667 North German Road. This gentleman, wants to come get his sewer services from the city, however, he needs to get permission from the new village of Kikoski, and the village of Kikoski had denied his request, but apparently they're gonna put it back on for next month, so.
So should we table this again?
Well, we're just discussing it, so. I don't think, we already tabled it last month.
I think it'd be better just leave it die and he can always put it on again if he gets approval from the village.
Right. We had a recommendation from the attorney you guys reviewed last month.
And even if the village does approve it, there's some question about whether he can cross, there's about 100 feet of land
Yeah,
that would violate our ordinance.
it's not continuous, contiguous.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, our ordinance says they have to be contiguous, so it's not. So.
All right, anybody else got discussion? All right. Item 8E, discuss the possible action revision of section 5.4 overtime compensation time of the city of Mayville employee handbook as it pertains to overtime and hours worked. So Stephanie,
The attorney is still revising it. We haven't had time to, go over his revisions. So we'll bring it back.
it looks, good so far from what I saw. All right,
Was he rewriting it or what?
yes,
Making it clear.
Clear? Is he changing the premise of the language?
no, well, what he's doing is he's making it clearer so everyone knows that you need 40 hours worked in a week rather than, you know, counting vacation and, holidays and sick towards his 40 hours.
This has nothing to do with the other paragraph having to do with being called in after. Outside of their regular schedule,
Yes, he's working on that as well.
clarifying it or changing it.
I think both. You want to table this? Someone want to make a motion table?
I'll make a motion to table it.
Motion by Olson, second by Newman, the table next month. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, tabled. New business, discuss the possible action, the minutes of April 12th, 2025. Common Council and May 27th, 2025, special Common Council meeting. Is there a motion to accept both?
I have a change
Sure,
for May 27th meeting,
sure.
5/8. The motion to increase the comptroller salary. I abstained from that vote.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Any other additions or corrections in minutes? Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Hinkle, second by Lebo, to approve May 12th of 2020, or May 12th, May 27th meeting. All right, any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed? Carries. Introduction of ordinance 1149-2025, an ordinance to repeal and replace section 38-2A, regular meetings of the common council of the municipal code of the city of Mayville, and I believe this is around starting at 6 P.M. So someone want to introduce?
motion introduced.
Thank you, Mr. Newman. Introduced. Discuss with possible action, resolution 5998-2025, appointments to the library board, assistant member. Please read.
Whereas in accordance with municipal code 22-12A, the mayor shall appoint to the library board subject to confirmation of the common council. Whereas the terms of Grant Larson and Katie Spear expire on June 30th, 2025. And therefore, the mayor does hereby appoint Tracy Heron and reappoints Katie Spear to serve on the library board with terms expiring June 30th, 2028. And now therefore be it resolved that the common council of the city of Mayville does hereby approve the aforementioned mayoral appointments to the library board.
I'll make the motion. Motion by Smith. Second by Levino. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Discuss the possible action, resolution 5996-2025, resolution authorizing municipal employees to sell beer in public parks operated by the city of Mayville.
Can you give us an example? Like what public employees,
Well,
for instance?
sure, I'll give an example. Suppose that the city office staff decided that they wanted to help out after work to go down to the square to serve liquor, or not liquor, but booze, not booze, beer.
Beer.
There's something, you know what the difference is.
They only let us do beer.
Right, only beer. That's an example.
Like our softball leagues.
The softball
our
leagues,
softball
Virginia
leagues,
Center.
That's more, a lot of it right there is our rec league that we have.
Because we can't license ourselves for something like
That
that.
makes
So if
sense.
TAG wants to have those rec programs, we can't license the city ourselves. So this is the way the state allows us to run it.
Where am I?
All right, is there a motion?
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Olson, second by DeBaker. Need more discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. All right, discuss with possible action, resolution 5999-2025, action on 2025-2026 liquor and fermented malt beverage license renewals. And they should have that in their packet, right?
They do, yeah. And these were the ones that came through public safety.
Okay,
Yeah.
no issues with any of the licensing, chief?
Nope, all good.
All right. Your motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Hinkle, second by Newman. The discussion? Take the roll.
Alderperson Henkel.
Aye.
Alderperson Newman.
Aye.
Alderperson Lebno.
Aye.
Alderperson Olson.
Aye.
Alderperson Smith.
Aye.
Alderperson DeBaker.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, discuss with possible action, operators license applications. There's a list there. Is there a motion
I'll
approved?
make a motion.
Motion by Smith, second by Levino, discussion. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. All right, discuss the possible action, elevator and sprinkler system exemptions for 125 South Main Street. Property owner Jake and Jessica Lawrence. Go up to the podium there, Jessica.
Hello.
All right, just give a brief synopsis of what's going on. This has been approved by the planning commission, but for your final approval.
Okay, for those that don't know me, I'm Jessica Lawrence. I own Cozy on the corner of Warcon and Main Street. About a year ago, my husband Jacob Lawrence bought the building from John Gable. With the intentions that we are going to put 4 units of apartment living up on the second floor. So for the past year, we have been working with our architect and going through various codes and planning for our historic building. It's from 1913. And in the process of doing that, there was a couple questions that the state came up with in conversations with our architect. One of them being for ADA compliance that we would have to put in an elevator into the building. But for various reasons, we aren't able to do that. One, the cost is prohibitive due to the historic structure. It's not as simple as taking out our old freight elevator, which is now a material left as recognized by the state. They would have to rework a lot of the historic building, and it's not feasible per the state elevator code. So the cost of the elevator to be put into the building would be over 20% of the actual budget. And that is one of the ways that the state says that that isn't required. The second required part of that elevator though is that we'd have to put an apartment in on the first floor to comply with ADA. And as you guys are probably well aware, city code doesn't allow for first floor apartments on Main Street. So the conversation between my architect and the representative from the state was I just had to have some sort of documentation saying that we don't allow apartments on the first floor. So that is the first one. The second thing is requirement for the building for the amount of units that we have, as well as the square footage, or require use of a sprinkler system within the building. In order to do that, we would have to upgrade the piping from our building to the water main. The water main is located on the opposite side of 67 and 28 from where our building is, so we'd have to rip up both roads in order to do so. That is the first thing. So as we kind of looked into that, it isn't a feasible thing for the city to want us to rip up both of the main entrances into Mayville from the southwest. So as we are discussing with the state and our architect on alternative measures to doing that sprinkler system, recognizing that we still need a certain level of fire safety within our building, we are able to come up with a really great resolution of just doubling our can't think of the word, our fire safety rating in between the units and in between the floors of our building. So in order to bypass the sprinkler system, we'd soup up the
Or
fire safety
fire
rating.
prevention.
Correct.
Like, is it like an installation of some sort, or?
Yeah,
It-
it's
It's,
higher rated.
yeah, so we'd have to put a lightweight cement or concrete on the second floor, as well as we'd have to increase the thickness of the materials. I don't know the exact material, but in between the units and in between the floors as
I
well.
don't know much about that.
Yeah. I'm not the expert on that.
All right, was a motion to, is there a motion to, accept the exemptions at 125 South Main Street as recommended by planning?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it. Motion by Hinkle, second by Smith. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging so long with us.
Yes, that was fun.
All
You
right.
guys enjoy the rest of your evening.
You
too. Thank you.
Discuss with possible action, Department of Public Works organizational structure. Sure.
Okay, so at the last meeting, we went ahead and approved Jake Schuppefer as the director after Jack's retirement. So then there was discussion if you wanted to have a working forum, foreman. So if you want to have a working foreman, that would be right below the director of public works. Or if you wanted to continue with the director of public works and 6 laborers. Or so if you had a working foreman, I would have to create a job description. And then you would have to come up with a wage for the working foreman. And then have the 5 laborers under the director and working foreman. So either way.
Has anybody talked to Jake about this?
I think we talked about last meeting. But I thought
Would you
we're,
rather have a foreman or would you rather be one man?
well, I don't think, we need another foreman. I mean, I think we need 6 laborers plus a replacement for Jack.
So that's your,
That's my synopsis of the situation.
So what would happen when he's gone, when he's on vacation?
You can have a lead.
key man kind of thing.
Not the same thing.
Not up there to the chart, no.
Really, lead man. It's fair to lead man and foreman were about the same.
This went through the personnel committee, right? Is there a recommendation from the personnel committee?
The recommendation was the structure with the foreman.
Which would require a new
Job.
job description.
And the other thing would be, how much is that gonna cost?
Well, that's just it.
Who else is, you're on the personnel committee, who else is on there? Ken?
Me and Molly and.
Jeff, I'll be person leave now. Other
Leave
person
now.
leave now.
Even though,
I thought so, but.
What do you think, Molly?
Ended torn.
And it's torn. Welcome to 2025.
Well, okay, you're on a committee, you thought leaving and foreman was the same thing?
I did.
Jesse, what did you think?
Maybe just get a lead man, brainstorm, take over when he's hands off.
And then how do we compensate that person?
Well, as a lead person, my experience is buck 50 more an hour.
So would that only be when he's being, he or she's being lead man,
That's
or is that gonna be all the time?
should be permanent.
Well, I guess if you do that, then you just offer it, whatever, $1.50 more an hour, and then, Jake would have to figure out how is he gonna do post it, or how is he gonna make the requirement to fill the position.
That's pretty much what we're doing now. I think that's probably more practical right now. Jack is lead man and his lead man is I think, what's his name?
John Struve.
Who?
John Struve.
John Struve. Usually it's a guy that has a CDL, operates heavy equipment, knows where things are. How to operate the brush machine. I don't think we have to. I think a foreman is something we should do later. If there needs to be one, we can always add that later and change the pay plan to include that, but I don't think they're operating without a foreman now. I don't know.
Money wise, it's the smart way to go.
Right. Was there a motion then somewhere?
So we want to make a motion for just a lead person rather than a foreman.
doesn't matter what you call it, you're still gonna have to have a job description for it. And $1.50 more an hour.
Would be the structure with the additional laborer, appointing a lead person at $1 to $1.50 extra per hour. Job description for the lead position to be drafted by city administrator.
And administrator in the department head. I thought I was.
And when would this, person start after he takes the position?
I would say upon Jack's retired.
All right, is there a second? Second, Lieberman. Any discussion? So I just want to read it back for everybody.
Absolutely. So the motion's to approve the Public Works Department structure with the additional laborer, appointing a lead person at $1 to $1.50 extra per hour. The job description for the lead position is to be drafted by the city administrator and department head. The position or the structure change will be effective upon Jack Hurst's retirement.
All right. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Discuss with possible action wage scale for the DPW laborers. That should be in your packet as well.
that the one that was handwritten?
The 6 intervals.
Oh, yeah. No, it's, this one.
Yeah. Yep, so right in front of it, that had also, just kind of extended it out.
Oh,
But it
okay.
mimics what's on there.
okay. Oh, yeah, you showed me, right? I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Hold on, effective July 1st.
What do you say? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, all right, July 1st, motion by Smith, second by Hinkle. Discussion,
Are we gonna do the 2.5% raise on there that's on there?
that's just,
Example.
example. You're talking about for future?
Yeah, for 1/1
Yeah, well,
26.
we haven't, the council hasn't, we haven't weighed in on the raises for next year, but once we finalize the raises, that number will be inputted for the 2.5.
Okay.
That was my question.
Anybody else? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discuss the possible action, work change directive approvals by the city administrator up to a certain dollar amount for the wastewater treatment plant. All right, so this is what I put on here. So we had that issue, last month with, CD Smith and our engineer, and there were some extra charges. I talked to CD Smith, typically, you know, we should already have this in place that we give someone authorization to approve a dollar amount, for anything that comes up unexpected. He said anywhere from 80 to 100,000 probably would cover it, because if it's more than that, we're gonna have probably some major issues that we're gonna have to sit on top of. So I said, well, makes sense for the city administrator to be the one to make that determination. So I guess I would entertain a motion to approve up to $100,000 and, miscellaneous unforeseen circumstances that come up with the new sewer plant.
I make that motion.
Motion by Newman,
I'll second.
second by the Baker.
So
Okay.
this is just for directives, so the actual change orders, once it's complete, will come to the council for
Right.
negotiation at that time. So I'll give you a running total of the directives at the time.
I just
So,
don't want to get smacked with the $174,000 surprise.
right,
I do feel we're being taken
But then
advantage
if-
of.
Well, you know, that could be another discussion at a different time, but,
I just had to say it.
all right, so anybody else? All right, hopefully this alleviates some of the problems, so, all right, take the roll.
Alderperson Newman.
Aye.
Alderperson Baker.
Aye.
Alderperson Smith.
Aye.
Alderperson Henkel. Aye. Alderperson Leaknow.
Aye.
Alderperson Olson. Nay.
All right,
Motion carries.
thank you. Discuss possible action 2025 music contracts.
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Newman, second by Olson. That's just for the July 3rd.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
and so, and their, music in the park as well.
Right.
all the music up in Foster Park,
In
up
Foster Park.
until July 3rd, and then after that's music on Main, or Allen Square, or whatever it's called.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Discuss a possible action, received request for proposals for audit services.
Make a motion.
Motion by Newman,
This is for Clifton Larson Allen, the one that was recommended by finance.
Right.
Thank you.
is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by DeBaker. Any discussion? All right, all in favor of approving the recommendation, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. All right, discuss possible action, disaster designation area policies for reimbursement and application process as pertaining to the Naval Disaster Relief Fund. So we have collected to date around $16,000. That should be distributed back to the community or residents. We have to create some kind of a criteria of how that process is going. Now, I did take a phone call today from a resident she was, thinks that tree, plantings in the area would be good. I think what we need to decide is we gotta come up with an area, wherever the tornado went through, we need to figure out how many feet or blocks on each side of the tornado and, make that the designated area and go forward, what we're gonna do with the funds.
Did you have a quick question in between here? Is there any kind of insurance coverage up at the cemetery?
Administrator.
Graceland Cemetery Association does have insurance their own. They are not listed on the city policy. So that the city's policy for uninsured insurance, we can get them up to $500 for the trees that were blown over near that building that they have up there. However, their insurance policy, basically you'll just pay for their flagpole and, minor other things. The gravestones will not be paid for. However, the tree cleanup, because it is city property, I am, including that with my disaster relief as I submit that to the state for reimbursable costs. So the cost for them to, they're going with Manning Tree Service to clean up and to get rid of the stumps. But then their volunteer hours, I can use that as, donation cost towards our 30%, because that reimbursable is a 70-30. So that 30% can be covered on that volunteer, but I am including their cost for that tree cleanup in our grant reimbursement. The insurance part of it, I will get whatever I can for the unscheduled insurance, because it is city property and it's not, and they do have their own insurance. But when it's gravestones, they're actually personal property. Sorry. It's a difficult situation.
Does people insure gravestones? Some cemeteries will offer a perpetual care that falls under. I'm unaware if Graceland does that, but some cemeteries do have that option.
Right, and if you're not alive, so,
Family member.
family members, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know if we want more discussion on this later on, or you wanna take more public input. Maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to try to get more public input on, what we wanna do with the funds.
So you talking about planting trees, what about like reimbursing homeowners for, I'm sure that it costs them quite a bit of money to get the trees that were,
Uprooted,
uprooted,
right?
fell on their homes, whatever, case could be removed.
On another note too, those who have trouble coming up with the deductible, sometimes the insurance companies work with you. As a wash on that,
Right.
some don't though. That was another suggestion. But then we're talking big bucks, if you had 16 grand, don't go far.
No. No, we might get some
Well, I think there'd have to be a cap for.
president.
Yeah.
Right, that's, would be part of the application process, but yeah, we might have some more coming in, but yeah, that money doesn't go that far.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion for more public input.
All right,
Second it.
all right, so let's, motion
Table it.
and some more public input, so let's go and have I guess have a public hearing the next month's meeting.
Okay.
And if you want public input, make sure we post it, that looking for public input on, distribution of the Mayville Disaster Relief Fund. All right, I don't want to put that words in your mouth, but is that what you?
Sure, that sounds wonderful.
Yep.
All right, motion made, second, public hearing next month. All right, any more discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, everyone's favorite agenda item, number 10.
We're going-
I order the chair.
So moved.
You better-
Each time.
Keep that, we're adjourned.